Hello and welcome. We're coming to the end of the welding on the Viva. I've strengthened the chassis legs there, and I've also strengthened the mounting points where the suspension mounts. I've done it both sides, of course. So we have a look inside the car. I've strengthened the cross member, put a new cross member in because I cut the old one away. There's the rear suspension mounting. The transmission tunnel, I've adjusted that to fit the Honda gearbox, and I've plated the floor for the gearbox cross member. In the back, I've built the mountings for the rear coilovers. I made some box turrets, and I've made space for the Volvo diff. I've cut the floor, lifted it up, and welded fillets in the side and at the front. Let's turn the car over and we'll have a look underneath. These are the welded in mounting point for the actual suspension mounting. So they fit in there, and then they bolt. It's a snug fit, and they bolt in. So I'm taking them off so I can paint the car without painting them. That's the rear axle torsion bars mounting. That's a substantial item. That should be secure. There's the widened tunnel to accommodate the prop shaft and the torsion bar mounts. That's the hole for the Volvo diff, make space for that. There's the suspension box, that's the old shock absorber hole, and that's the new coilover hole. And that there is the panhard rod mounting. So let's take a minute to talk about the metal I've been using on the Viva. The first is the lightest. It's 0.9mm 21 gauge. You can cut this with your shears. It's very light and has little strength. It should only be used for non-stressed panel repairs. This was bought from a body shop supplies distributor. Next, from a Motor Factors 1.1mm 19 gauge. You can cut this with your shears. It's much stronger and can be used for chassis repairs. I used this 19 gauge for this area here. Here's the next one, 1.7mm 15 gauge. This is out of a sheet metal worker's skip. You'll need a cutting disc to cut this. It was good value, but it did need the rust cleaning off. It's used here for suspension strengthening areas, and I built the rear coilover boxes with this. It's good and strong. This metal is from a container repair yard skip. There were some lovely sheets of metal in there. I've got a couple. This is very nice. It's 1.98mm, just about 2mm. 14 gauge. It's very strong, good for structural suspension mounting points. This is the last one, bought from a scrapyard. I bought 2 sheets of this from a scrapyard. It's 6mm steel, 5 gauge. Now this is very strong. I made these mountings with the 6mm. They're not going to go anywhere. It takes a lot of cutting though. This is my little MIG welder. It's not very adjustable. We're using a small reel of 6mm wire, and it's running on CO2 pub gas. This is only really for emergency fine work. Here's my good welder. It's an SWP Redline. It's a 210 amp machine. It's a lot more adjustable than the little one, with a good range of wire speed. It's using a good quality argon gas as well, which makes a big difference. We've got some good gauges on it, so it's very adjustable. The little Telwin is an Italian machine. The SWP is Chinese, but it seems a good quality welder. We're running on 8mm wire. It takes a 4-size spool, and it's adjustable for wire sizes. The fine adjustment allows light metal welding with this 8mm wire. So that's the steel and the welders. Next, I have to clean and prepare under the car, rub some of the lumps out of it, and get it ready for painting. I've removed the suspension to do this. So thank you for watching. I hope you found this interesting, and until next time, bye bye.